What's up guys? Welcome to my video on these two mistakes to avoid when you're taking the ACT English section. Let's get started. So, today we're going to talk about two different things. One is apostrophes and how to use them, and the other is the exceptions to the rule. So, these are two of the questions that ACT students get wrong all the time. They constitute a large number of questions on the ACT English test and are often overlooked by English teachers and by people prepping for the test. I'm here to get you the resources that you need to be able to score higher on the ACT test, and if you want to eventually get a 36 on the ACT English section. After taking it numerous times, I was able to get a 36 on the ACT English test on 6 tests in a row. In the real thing. So, in my personal opinion, is one of the easier sections to boost because it is consistent. I'm going to talk about that in a later video, about the differences between each of the different sections on the test. However, for this video, we're going to just focus on these two things that you can do to get better. So, let's start with the first, apostrophe usage, when to use possessives. Okay. Let's talk about apostrophes. When we're talking about apostrophes, one of the most important things to consider is where we're placing the apostrophes. For some background, apostrophes are things that show possession or ownership of something else. So, an example of this would be the name Emma. Okay, let's say Emma owns a chair. That would be Emma's chair. We place the apostrophe after her name because it's Emma apostrophe S chair. Now, we're going to use my name as another example. I'm going to be saying some things that are somewhat controversial in the English world, but for the purposes of the ACT, this will teach you the correct principle. Let's say we're talking about James. James ends with an S. So, what happens here? Are we going to write out J-A-M apostrophe S? No. We're going to write out J-A-M S apostrophe S? No. When things end with S, or when they are plural, we place the apostrophe after the S to show possession. So we would say James's chair. This is much better illustrated for the purposes of the ACT with words that are not names, but they also apply to that category. For example, if we are going to talk about it is the dog's treat. What if there's multiple dogs that own the same treat? Well, then it would be it's the dog's apostrophe treat. It's very important that we place the apostrophe in the correct position on the ACT. This is a question that repeats over and over and over again on the test, and will always be there on the English section. Whether you like it or not, you open up that section, this question will be there. It might not say dog, but it will have another word and ask you to change the apostrophe or keep it the same. If you know the English rule, then you will be able to answer this correctly. Let's do another example. If it is the monkey's banana, okay? Well, if there are multiple monkeys, then we have to put the apostrophe after the S, and it's the monkey's banana. Pretty simple, right? It gets a little bit more complicated than that because there are exceptions to the rule. One of the exceptions are contractions. What a contraction is a shortening of a word using an apostrophe. Okay? So we were just talking about the normal usage of the apostrophe. However, there are some words like it's. Okay? ITS versus IT apostrophe S. At first glance, you might say, well, there's an apostrophe there, so that must mean it's possessive. But that is wrong. It is not possessive. IT apostrophe S is a contraction for it is. Our rule of thumb here is that when there's a fight between the possessive apostrophe and the contraction always wins. So, what that means is since this is it is and it is a contraction, it wins the apostrophe. So the possessive has to take the form without the apostrophe. So its is one of the few words that show possession without an apostrophe. This is the most tested exception to the rule on the ACT section, and you should definitely pay attention to this so that you don't make the same mistake lots of other students make. Okay, we've talked about its versus its with an apostrophe. We've talked about possession. Now let's clarify why it's important to know the difference between each of the different placements of the apostrophe. Here are 3 different words. The boys' bathroom. Okay, there is the boys' bathroom, and there is the boys' bathroom. Whenever I place an apostrophe, sometimes I like to pronounce it like boys' so that I can remember in my brain, but you can do whatever is easiest for you. Some people pronounce it in different ways. What is this first one? Or first, let's write this out. What does this first one mean? Well, boys' bathroom, no apostrophe, is just a noun. It is a place. It is probably the thing that you see on the bathroom sign when you walk over to the boys' bathroom. Hopefully you're not walking over there, not our favorite place to be. But when you do see that sign, that's why there's no apostrophe. So, then we look at the second one, the boys' bathroom. This means one boy owns this bathroom. Okay? I don't know what he's doing, claiming possession over it, but he owns that bathroom. Then we've got the boys' bathroom. This means that multiple boys own one bathroom. So this is an important distinction to make because we could pronounce all of these exactly the same, but their meaning is completely different. The ACT will test that and they will try to trip you up on it. All of the questions on the ACT are not difficult concepts. They are concepts that are designed and questions that are designed to make you trip up so that they can create a bell curve, so that they can create a separation, and theoretically so they can test your knowledge. But remember, they are never testing your intelligence. The ACT is not a measure of intelligence and will never be. Do not ever value yourself based on the score you get, because you can get whatever score you want. It is a measure of how much work you put in versus how many advantages, times how many advantages you have, times how you're feeling on the test day. That is what your score is a result of. So, let's get you prepped, let's get you that advantage, and let's get you a good score on the test. Thanks guys for watching my video. I hope that it was helpful. I hope that you were able to learn how to differentiate between the different types of possessives as well as the exceptions. To review, we went over how to use an apostrophe in singular and plural, as well as the exceptions to the rule, such as its and other contractions. Please let me know in the comments any other videos that you think would be helpful that I could make to be able to help you in your preparation to ACT, things that you need to know, or things that you think would create something of value to you as you prepare for this exam. It's going to determine so many things in your future. Thanks guys, I'll see you next time.